Hello, friends. Today is January 25th. Just kidding, my brain is mush from working Valentine's Day last night. I guess that means that today is actually February 15th, 2024, and indeed, St. Valentine's Day has breathed its last and is now dead. Here lies the corpse of the stupid commercial holiday, Bleeding. Side note, I'm very excited for A24's upcoming Love Lies Bleeding, but we'll get to that later on. It's a lovely day outside, and as Punxsutawney Phil predicted last week, an early spring is upon us here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I say we enjoy it. Today, we will navigate the unprecedented success of the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer, Pedro Pascal's fantastic foray into the first family of Marvel, and the F5 levels of excitement caused by tornado chasing back on the silver screen. All of this and more on today's episode of YHS Podcast. If you feel it, chase it.
Yes, have some.
Hey everybody, welcome to Yes Have Some Podcast. Listen, I don't care what you think about the Twisters trailer, and we are going to break it down. If you feel it, chase it is an awesome catchphrase, and I'm bringing it into my actual daily life. I've been
Is it as good
it.
as humans being?
Is what? Say it again.
As humans being?
Humans being the song from the first Twister.
Yeah.
They don't say it in the movie. Like Bill doesn't go,
It's
"I'm
movies.
humans being." What's up, Jacob?
Well, I have no idea what A24 movie you're talking about, and I'm confused, and I want to know about it.
Love Lives Bleeding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Kristen Stewart and I'm gonna completely forget this person's name.
Oh, from The Mandalorian.
Yeah, Mandalorian. Katie O.
Okay.
They're
Katie O'Brien.
Katie O'Brien, yeah, they're starring opposite each other in like a revenge romance that's apparently like over the top, and I'm excited.
It looks like John Wick, Kill Bill. There's bodybuilding. There's hot
Les stuff.
sexual
Yeah.
stuff.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds
Can't
good.
wait. Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't
Well, I
wait.
mean, Abby watched the trailer a lot.
Oh, is there
Yeah.
a trailer? There's a trailer already?
There's a trailer for it, which is that's why I was bringing it up.
But anyways,
Jason Gursky tagged me in it, and I'd already seen it at that point.
he did.
Yeah, he was like a little
He
gardener,
He knew.
muscular women beating each other up. Yeah, I loved it. I loved the trailer.
Hey, Abigail, I want to be really honest. If you feel it, chase it.
Oh yeah, I'm chasing that trailer. I'm chasing Kristen Stewart wherever she goes.
There you go. Jacob, how are you, sir? Good to see you today. We've talked about 12 times already. People, do you think people ever think, oh, they haven't talked in like a week. They have a lot to catch up.
People don't realize that we talk for an hour every midnight.
Yeah. Then I'm like, let me have the phone.
Dude, there are times where I'm getting ready to go to bed, and I was like, well, I should wait because Craig's probably gonna call.
Hey,
I'm gonna stay up for Craig.
I want to let you guys in.
Stay up for Craig.
I called Jacob at 12:30 last night. And he didn't answer. I was so mad. I was like,
Dude.
"What is he doing? What
What did I do?
What is he sleeping?"
I went to bed early last night
Okay.
because I felt awful all day yesterday. Felt
Yeah.
really sick. Went to bed before midnight for the first time in a long time.
Okay.
Slept all night, and it was great.
Did you wake up feeling better?
No.
Worse.
Do we ever?
No.
Sometimes.
No. Yeah, I saw this morning. I was like, oh, Craig called last night.
Yeah. No, that's okay. You don't have to take every call.
Valentine's Day, it's a tough night.
Well, Abby didn't get home till like 2 a.m. This was my night last night. You ready for this?
Yeah.
If there was like a montage of my evening, it was like a combination of editing video, playing with new stray cats, calling DoorDash customer support twice. Well, has this ever happened to you where they say they dropped the food off, but they like it's stolen?
No, because I don't DoorDash very often.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
But I hear that happens a lot.
they didn't come with the food. And the lady was like, "Oh, check your text. They probably took a picture of where the food is." I was like, first of all, they didn't. Second of all, there's not a lot of places to put this food. There's a front porch. I know what food looks like. There's not a hiding spot. It's not here.
It's not here.
And then Abby finally got home, and then we got more food, and it was great.
Yeah.
So Well, Jake, I'm glad you got a good night's sleep, man. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Abigail, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I was busy all last night, refilling drinks and serving amuse bouches. I feel like I said that phrase more than I ever have in my life last night.
To amuse douches.
A lot of amuse douches come out on Valentine's Day is all I can say. They're amusing and it was a long night, but I'm really glad to be podcasting. I do the work so that I can come and have fun with y'all.
Do you like Valentine's Day? Because it kind of sucks, right?
I mean, honestly, like as a homeschooler, I always kind of like idolized the holiday and thought like, oh, this must be awesome for kids who are in school because they just like profess their love for each other and it's really sweet and romantic. But as I grew up, I realized Valentine's Day is like it's just mostly to sell things and to make money for companies, and I understand that.
It's a
Yeah, it's
Hallmark.
I kind of
that's
get
the
behind
only
that.
reason.
Yeah,
the
it's
only
like
reason it
if you,
exists.
yeah, I can get into it. I like
Hey,
candy.
I can hear Abby. I can hear you just fine, but I do want to point out that you have a little microphone with a slash through it on her screen. Do you see it, Craig, by her name?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, that was because of the sound issue.
Okay.
But can you hear me?
I just wanted to make sure there wasn't something not
No.
picking up or
for
something.
recording.
Yeah, I'm leaving this in because I'm so tired of.
That's
editing.
fine.
No, so this
Mhm.
because Abby and I use the same audio source, so yeah, it's picking up through mine
Gotcha.
for
All
the
right.
mixer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I
I just didn't want to finish the whole episode and then be like,
Do you wanna talk about audio
"Oh, there's
sources?"
Dude,
there's
no. This is a little behind the scenes info for the fans. They're probably like, "Whoa, you couldn't pay for this kind of stuff." Actually, you could if you're
Well,
on
you
Patreon.
can if you're on Patreon.
Hey, listen. Oh yeah, the little music
Cuts to
sound
the
thing.
Patreon. Yeah.
Jacob, I don't know if you remember this, and Abby, you might have gone through this. I always felt pretty demoralized on Valentine's Day, actually every day of my life, but specifically on Valentine's Day. And I remember in high school, different like groups would do these like fundraiser things where they would sell roses. Do you remember this? They would sell like flowers, and people would buy flowers for their crushes and their significant others, and then like during fourth or fifth period on Valentine's Day, whatever group was doing the fundraising would go from classroom to classroom to deliver all the flowers. And obviously, it's just like everything else in high school. So the popular kids are just raking in. They could start a flower store if they wanted to by the end of this fourth period.
Mhm.
Guess who never got a flower? And guess who always thought he was going to get one? I was like, I bet I have a
Secret admirer
admirer out there.
That rose.
And it's really shitty. Like I remember
Yeah.
specifically on even on like, it's not like I had girlfriends and I dated and stuff a little bit like any high schooler
Sure.
does.
Sure.
But I still never.
I didn't.
Yeah, but you something happened with somewhere. You had friends. At least you had friends. Like sometimes I had
friends.
nothing. You had friends.
Yeah.
Group hangs. All I'm saying is I didn't get a
Couple of
fucking
those.
flower. I didn't get a fucking flower ever. And Abby, I have a feeling it was a little different for you.
I mean, it wasn't like a fairy tale thing at all.
Yeah.
I don't know that I ever like had an overwhelming Valentine's Day. That other than the ones that you've given me.
Yeah, well,
Mhm.
didn't I get you the Shape of Water ones for Valentine's Day
Mhm.
on Blu-ray?
That's the
Mhm.
best. That's literally
That's
the best
romantic.
gift you could ever
Dude,
be
that's-
given.
Oh wait, no, that was an Easter basket.
Yeah.
That's
That's
hey,
what that's
the
what
shape
day's all
of
about.
here. Spoilers: The Shape of Water is in my 100 favorite movies of all time list.
Fuck.
So what is everybody? How are you all constructing those lists?
Should we talk about
that
this
seems to
real
be
quick?
A thing to do right now.
Jacob, should we talk about this
Yeah,
a little bit? Okay.
sure.
I woke up on Monday morning this week ready to start my day. It was early. I was tired. And I don't drink coffee. I'm not a coffee person. Obviously, I like my Coke Zeros and things like that. But when my brain is really sludgy, I sometimes like to do an exercise like creating a checklist or just like sometimes making a list will get my brain kind of where it needs to be for a Monday morning. And I was like, you know what? I need to make my list of top 100 movies. I just need to do it right now at 8:30 on a Monday morning. And it was not in any particular order because I think in making a list like that,
It's impossible to put
it's
that in order.
like, how do you even maybe top 5 or 10 you can do, but beyond that, it's like you're lying if you're like, oh, this is my 38th favorite movie. It's like,
Right.
no, it's not. It's just a movie. It's just a movie you like.
Yeah.
So I made my list of what my top 100 favorite movies, refined it a little bit throughout the day, but I sent it to our group chat early on. And Jake, you were really supportive of this. You were like, this is a good thing that you're doing. Like, I felt really supported. Like, I don't know why, but like,
Well, because it's just fun. It's fun to see what's on everybody's list. And a couple other people in our chat, AJ and John, posted their list. I started working on my list immediately, which I still haven't finished.
yeah.
It's like 70 movies in, and I'm like, oh, what? I only got 25 spaces left. You know, like, what do I put
You
in
take
there?
it really serious.
Yeah, I started taking it really seriously. I'm looking at other lists that I see, and I'm like, come on, guys, 100 movies is what you're putting on here, but it's like, it's fun.
AJ made a list of like the 18 movies he's seen.
It was 100 movies.
Yeah.
It was 100 movies, but I do get the feeling he's only seen those 100 movies.
Are we all just making regular lists like in notes, or is there?
Yeah, I'm making mine in
That's it?
notes.
Okay.
Yeah. And Abby, you haven't started on yours.
No, and I'm having that fear of missing out right now, so I'm gonna do
Dude,
it.
you're missing out.
Oh,
I've
dude.
seen 100 movies.
Oh, well, the crazy thing is like, that seems like a lot. It's like 100 movies, but once you start making
It's
the list,
not.
it fills up pretty quickly.
There's
It's
a lot
not
of
a lot.
movies out there every year.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot, but Jess said the same thing because I was talking to her about it, and she goes, "Have I seen 100 movies?" And I was like, "I watch 500 movies a year, and I know that because I write them down."
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like it's a lot, but
Now, I will say,
everybody has seen 100 movies.
Abby, I think some of our listeners are probably going to want to participate. So maybe we'll get some sort of ongoing shared list going.
Mm-hmm.
There's no rules.
Like do an episode about it, like once.
Well,
we
that's
have
what I
them.
wanted to do, is maybe do a series of episodes where we try to break down these lists in some kind of way.
Mhm.
There's no rules. So I think the one rule is people have very specific, because I've been talking about this with a lot of people. People have very specific guidelines on how they approach franchises. Some people say, hey, I like Star Wars. I'm putting every Star Wars movie on my list. Some people,
Would
Jacob,
be like they have to condense it to one Star Wars movie.
right.
Yeah. I'm
Right.
not putting. Yeah, that's what I did. I don't want to put every single Star Wars movie that I like.
Did you
or
put
every
ROTJ?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I did the same thing for like Lord of the Rings. I think I only put 2 Quentin Tarantino movies on there, even though like I could put them all in it. And
Sure.
there's movies on there. I like some of his movies better than other movies that are gonna make the list, but it's like it's 100 movies. I don't want to just like
Each space is
have
valuable.
10 of the movies are one guy or something. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to like split it up. Hey, I got 3 Godzilla movies on there, and I felt bad putting 3 on there.
Yeah.
I was like, that's too many.
The biggest trend I took away from me was like, this is kind of one of those things. Like, if you look at my list, there is maybe less than 3 movies from the past 15 years. And I was just like, fuck. I'm at that age where no, you don't think so?
Finish your thought, and then I'm gonna
So there's 2 schools
make sure
of
we're
thought.
thinking of the same thing.
There's 2 schools of thought. I want everybody's opinion on this. It's either movies aren't as good as they used to be, or your tastes are more, you develop your keen tastes and interests at a certain age, and that's where you kind of gravitate to. This happens with music a lot, right? Like, you hit a certain age, sometimes, not everybody, but sometimes, like me, I'm more likely to listen to something I was a big fan of in my 20s than I am to just search out a bunch of new music. It doesn't mean the new music's not good. It's just I have what I have. But I don't necessarily want to be like that. Jacob, do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I was going to say both of those things are true. Like movies, it's not that just all movies are not as good anymore, but movies are made in a very different way now. They don't make movies are just not the same as they used to be. They look different. The way, the cameras, the effects, the writing, it's all just so different. And it's just because the times have changed and evolved. All the tools have evolved, and it just makes things, even when they try to make a movie like the old days, it still doesn't look anything like the old movie. So Part of it is that, and we're going to talk about it when we get to Twister. Like, to me, that Twister trailer doesn't look like a Twister movie, even though it's full of tornadoes, but it's because of things like how it's made and all this kind of stuff. We'll get to that, but
we'll get to it.
But yeah.
Abigail.
Yeah.
When you decide to start making that list, what is your approach going to be? Like, how do you, because I feel like I do think it's different for everybody.
I mean, I think it should be an ever-evolving piece that you curate like you would a shelf or a detop to like take. If I were to see something new that comes out, it might kind of disrupt things. I might have to kick another movie out.
Right.
And I think keeping it current and updated would be good. I think that might probably fill up my spaces faster than I'd think. So I'm just looking forward to doing it. I can only theorize so much. I'm looking forward to like making it.
Yeah, I bet people listening are like, "Can you please name some of these movies instead of talking about the theory behind how you could?" Should I read some of my list? Should I hold off? Like, what should I?
Go ahead.
I think it would be
want.
Okay.
What happened? You can say.
I want to do it when I can participate.
Well, we don't all. I would say, okay, why don't we do this? You make a pact to start on your list. The next time we sit down and do YHS, we'll start. Hey, let's each pick 5 movies off of our list and do a breakdown and just see where it goes. Something along those lines.
Okay.
Or maybe we can find like some commonalities. Like we all 3 made lists. Tonight we're doing the movies of John Carpenter. And any John Carpenter movie that's on our list, we'll talk about. We'll figure it out. Something. I will say this. Jacob, I thought you were going to roast me really hard on some of my picks, and maybe you will.
I will when we get to. I didn't want to. Hey, I almost did, and I did in my head, but I was like, well, I'm not going to be a jerk and tell Craig that the movies he likes to watch are.
Go ahead, honestly.
I was like,
I wasn't even told about the segment.
What did I say?
We just had a segment of planning a future episode.
Dying. I just spit Coke all over the goddamn computer.
I know.
It was just something about you going, I'm not going to be a jerk about it. It just made me laugh. I don't know why.
Well, here, I had to look at it. If these were lists of like what we think the best movies of all time are, then that's a really hard 100 movie list to make. Like, it's a lot of movies. But when it's your favorite, it can be any stupid fucking movie you want, because like it's like people gravitate to movies for any kind of reason.
Sure.
So it doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter if Leprechaun 4 is on my list, because
I like that. It's a good approach.
So that's why when I read your list, even though half of the movies were movies, I was like, who cares? It's not my list. It's Craig's list.
It's a reflection of who you are and like your taste.
Like 2001's not on my list. Like, I know it's one of the best movies ever made, but I never I never sit down and go, I think I'll watch 2001 tonight. Maybe I should. Maybe that would make me a more refined human being. Okay, Abigail, you ready to move on from this?
Yeah.
You are so. I could feel how mad.
Are you mad?
Yeah, because I didn't participate. I wish I'd had it. I wish I'd done it.
Well, we're not doing it tonight. This is like this.
Yeah, I mean, mine's not done either. I'm just
mine. Well, also, first time I made my list, I had like 115 movies. I was like, Craig, you got to calm down. You can't put every Judd Apatow movie on here. So I picked one. There you go. Okay, so this was kind of a crazy week. The Super Bowl was Sunday. Obviously, there's always a big deal about commercials. Abby, though, I thought we watched the whole game. None of the commercials really stood out.
Nothing stuck with me. I mean, honestly, I thought it was a kind of a weak year for commercials. Even my brother was saying that when we were texting.
The Temu ads were so much.
So uncomfortable. Like, if that's the best I mean, I know no one's saying it's the best, but like the animation on those commercials really uncomfortable. Bad. And the whole thing, Temu in general, is weird. So, yeah, it was a strange year for commercials, but it was a good year for halftime shows.
I feel like there's a lot of people buying red parkas off Temu these days. If I know our community, but there was trailers. So the big trailer drops. We got the official first trailer for Deadpool 3, which is now officially titled Deadpool and Wolverine. We got the Twisters trailer. There was a new Planet of the Apes trailer. Is it Kingdom, Jacob?
Yeah, I think so.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And the Wicked trailer, which by the way is they are doing 2 Wicked movies, but it's
Two-parter.
It's a 2-parter. They're not calling it Wicked Part 1, even though it's
the same. It's just going to cut in the middle of the.
Right.
It's going to have an intermission. It's going to have a really long intermission,
which I know is really upsetting to
some members. It is upsetting. I don't understand why the musical's 2 hours long. Why can't it's not even a long movie? You know what I mean? Why can't we just put it out?
Jake's going to be seeing Wicked on the opening night. It's going to end. He's going to say, "I'm not leaving. I'm sitting here for a year."
Man stays for 1 year. In balcony.
I don't get it.
So yeah, lots of trailers. Let's go ahead and start getting into it, and then obviously we'll talk a little bit. Let's save Deadpool because I think that opens up a broader conversation about the MCU. Let's maybe we start with Twisters, because that's a movie we've all been anticipating. It was on our top 5 most anticipated movies lists. The thing I'll say about this before we get started, and I'll go to you, Abigail, is that it feels weird because a Twister like we've jokingly talked about wanting a Twister sequel for forever. I never thought one would ever actually happen. Like, it didn't seem like something where, like, when the reports first came out a year and a half, 2 years ago, that the guy who wrote The Revenant was doing a Twister sequel and Universal was really big on the project and they were fast tracking production. I remember thinking, this seems really strange. Like, this does not seem and like Steven Spielberg and Frank Marshall, like everybody's involved and really high on the project for whatever reason. So lots of anticipation. Abigail, I'm going to open up the trailer here in a moment, but just before we do that, any initial thoughts and feelings on what we saw?
I mean, I was excited to see just something from Twister like in happening that's new. I was just kind of taken aback by the force of the trailer, and I really love the original and the source material. So I personally am happy to anticipate a next movie. We'll see how it turns out. Like, I understand that there's could be like things could go the wrong way, but I have hope for it. And I loved, like I've said since I was a kid, I love the original. I loved Helen Hunt. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Jacob?
Yeah. I feel conflicted on it because I love Twister. It's one of my, if I had to, if I had to make a list of like top 20 most watched movies, Twister's 100% on that list. I watch it multiple times a year. I love it. Everybody knows how much the three of us like Twister. So I'm happy to see something, but the trailer doesn't really inspire a lot of confidence for me. Like, sure, it's exciting to see tornadoes. But there's so many tornadoes in the trailer and there's so much happening that it feels more like Twister is very much based in reality, I think. And there's tornado action, but it's like, there's how many times do they encounter tornadoes in Twister? 3 times?
Right. It's like Jurassic Park or Jaws.
There's 15 tornadoes in this trailer. You know what I mean? It literally feels like a disaster movie and not like a movie about storm chasers. And I think the trailer is so, you can tell that corporate was like, we have to make sure people know there's tornadoes in this movie. And they focus more on the spectacle of the tornadoes and less on the people or the connections between these people or any legacy connection other than seeing the Dorothy. I don't know. Like, just Twister feels like such a real snapshot of time, and all those people seem to know each other, and all those characters, even the characters that have like one line of dialogue, are amazing, and they're all fun and funny to watch. And I hope this has this. And if, maybe in the next trailer, we get more of the dynamics of the people.
Right.
That's what I need from it. I'm just worried that it's just going to be like a disaster movie, tornadoes everywhere, run, and less like Twister. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand that. Like, if it doesn't capture any of the original feels, there won't be much. Yeah.
Well, the original is all about those characters. I mean, you have Bill Paxton, Helen Hunt, Philip Seymour Hoffman, even like Alan Ruck is great.
Mhm.
And Jeremy Davies, who played Daniel Faraday on Lost, like these are like
Yeah.
really good actors, right? And
Yeah.
by the way, I think what you guys are saying, like the trailer doesn't really, you really, what's his name? Glenn Powell? Is that the actor's name? He's the only one you really get a sense of.
Right.
And he kind of seems like maybe his character is a combination of Bill and Jonas, right? He's like a
Sure.
social media star, a little bit of a wild card. We didn't really get. I don't know much about the actress Daisy Edgar Jones. I know she's supposedly really good, but she doesn't get a lot to do in this trailer,
Right.
except for this is the one line where he's like, "It's beautiful," and looks at her and like they kind of lock eyes. It's kind of funny. But anyways, let's go through this a little bit. So, Abigail, opening shot. I think this is a flashback.
Okay. Oh yeah, it looks like a early 2000s car.
Yeah, well, I think the plot is that she is a storm chaser and something really bad happens and then she leaves.
Mhm.
And she's like, nothing will ever get me back to Oklahoma. But we do have a shot of Dorothy here. And obviously there's tornadoes and the guy from Hamilton, and there's a lot happening. I believe it's Dorothy 5, what we see in the trailer. Now, famously, the first Twister, there was 4 Dorothys. They were all destroyed. So, Abigail, what do you, looking at this trailer, what do you think the legacy connection is? Are these family members? Is there any reference to the extreme in this movie?
Oh, there's greenage. For sure. That's the one thing I say is connection. I mean,
look at that.
There's similarities. that dude with the sunglasses and the hat is evoking Jonas, like 100%. And as it's updated, like we all watch the Ryan Hall Y'all channel, and it's like you can kind of see a character coming up like that.
Yes, have some.
Yes, have some.
Oh, Jacob.
Yes, Craig.
You know how you always say we're doing too much and we need to scale back?
I absolutely do.
Well, it's not going to happen. In fact, we're going to do more.
Oh my God.
But that's okay, because what I'm talking about right now is the YHS Patreon community, where you can unlock over 5 years of bonus audio content. Now, that sounds pretty good, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's enough.
Every month, if you are part of the YHS Patreon, which you can sign up for at patreon.com/yeshavesome, for as little as $5 a month, you can be part of the YHS Discord, which is exclusive to Patreon. And we do bonus audio episodes every month. And Jacob, we got a new Ghostbusters movie this year.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about. There's things that we really can't always talk about on the main feed, but we like to give a little behind the scenes insight to our Patreon folks.
Sure, it's a really fun community over there, and it's really fun to throw some teases in there, some early videos or content that might not make its way on the main feed. There's also an Instagram. I don't even know if you mentioned the Instagram. There's a Patreon
Instagram.
exclusive Instagram. It is just like I said. We're really doing a lot. And honestly, YHS is our favorite thing. It's what we all want to be doing full time. And Patreon is really what helps us out the most.
Absolutely. So like I said, patreon.com/yeshavesome. For as little as $5 a month, you can get access. And there are a couple different tiers, including the top tier, which is a merch tier where 4 times a year you get an exclusive piece of YHS merch. And right now we're working on the one that's going to launch spring, summer. And I don't want to sell you guys on it too hard, but it's going to be good. You're going to be upset if you don't have this. So thank you for the continued support of YHS over the last 8 years. And if you want to give a little bit and it goes directly to us and supports all this madness that we participate in, it's patreon.com/yeshavesome.
This scene and his character in this movie seems to evoke that like sensationalized, like fake world that was constructed in the original Twister, where weathermen and weather people are like celebrities, and it's like it's a battle of like egos, and that's a world that only exists within the first movie. So like to see some of that at play here, I'm saying that's good.
Yeah. That's not a thing in the real, that's a thing in the Twister world. Like these are the most important people.
Yeah. I don't know who my local weather person is necessarily,
Right.
and I'm not like seeing them show up and going to get their autograph and take pictures and like go to their little like.
Well, maybe
speeches.
maybe we don't know it, but maybe they all act like they are celebrities, and we need to meet
They're
them
worse than
and see if
podcasters.
yeah.
Yeah, go for it, Jake.
And I was just gonna say, like, I like seeing all the tornado stuff, and it's really fun, and I hope this movie's good. Like, one thing that I always like, there's like we're flying drones into the tornadoes now, and it's like, all right, guys, like every movie's got to do a drone now. Ghostbusters has got a drone. Everybody's
Everybody's a
2024.
podcaster.
Everybody's got a drone. We get it.
Yeah.
It's like chill.
Yeah.
But
There's
I don't know. It looks
there's also a line in the trailer where they say something about destroying tornadoes.
Yeah. Well, he says it to the actress who's clearly Joe's daughter, right?
You think so?
100%.
I mean, that's what everyone's thinking. That's what I thought.
If you
100%.
feel it, chase it.
Mhm.
I mean, this guy's just
He's got the Riz.
he does.
He's got the red truck.
He's got a red. Well,
Beautiful truck.
this is what I was talking about. He's like, she's perfect. Okay, so where
You
we
thought
got
you could destroy a tornado.
You thought you could destroy a tornado? That's a line in a movie. That's awesome. All right. So
And that's a Dorothy.
that's Dorothy 5. So at some point post Twister, they put Dorothy's back into production.
But here's another question. Why? Because they did it in the first movie. They did it. That's how the movie ends. And also, there's been like 30 years of research and
yeah.
like the stuff they were trying to do with Dorothy. I think that's commonplace now, right? Can't they just do that stuff now? It was 30
No,
years
this
ago.
is the Twister world.
Do you think that tornadoes will have evolved in this?
To
or is it
become
because-
sentient.
I was just thinking because there's so many of them that like maybe Jonas is like is a mastermind and has a tornado factory. And
Jonas?
yeah.
He's dead.
Oh well, you're right.
No,
Here's
Okay,
what I
well,
think.
we need okay.
We never got proof he died in that tornado.
That's true.
Yeah, we didn't
He
see it.
became part of that tornado.
Imagine this. Ready? A post-credit scene from the first Twister that we never saw. Okay. They come, Bill and Joe survive the tornado. All the Dorothy balls are flying through, catching all the data. Everybody's celebrating. Dusty accidentally steps on a cord and unplugs the computer while it's capturing the data.
Oh, it
No,
all
they
got nothing.
It all flopped.
Not only did they get nothing, it deleted 20 years of historical data somehow.
It's in the suck
They,
bin.
they should have got Jack Black to play Dusty's brother in this.
Yeah, that would have been okay.
Why not?
That's good casting.
Hey, also here's a better after credit scene.
Okay.
We cut away to like the plains of I don't know, Kansas, where there's no people for miles, and there's there's a tornado going, just doing its thing. We close up on the tornado, and then we're inside the tornado. Jonas's lifeless body's just spinning around, just ragdolling inside of the tornado.
Yeah.
We close up on the face, eyes open. Cut to
100%.
black.
When you find out that at this inside of every tornado, there's like the soul or something of every human.
Yeah, you become like a zombie or something.
I thought you were
if
gonna
you're
say,
in there.
it's
The
like
key to getting the tornado done is I don't know. You have to find the dead body.
inside of every tornado is a community of people.
He lives inside the tornado forever.
How about this? We know that Daisy Edgar Jones' character is a storm chaser. I think this is her in this scene. She looks younger.
Yeah, that's her.
Is there a chance she is Joe's daughter? And Joe
100%.
No, but is there a chance Joe dies in the opening scene, Egon Spengler style?
It's possible. I guarantee you she's in this movie at least as a kid. I mean, it's either going to be like the Exorcist kind of thing where she shows up at the end for no dumb reason,
To help with the exorcism?
or she dies at the beginning. The exorcism of the tornado.
Tornadoes.
You thought you could destroy a tornado, but I'm the tornado wrangler, and I say you can't. Insert Helen Hunt. It's not very true. My old husband, the extreme, would have hated you. I don't know what they're gonna.
Yeah,
This
I
is
don't
the
fucking
fact that this movie exists is just wild.
Yeah, just the fact that there's a Dorothy right there.
Now,
Yeah, I'm into it.
okay, I just want to see. I want to see Dorothy.
We have to
open
see
up.
this one together. We need to whenever.
Yeah,
this
we
comes out.
do.
Mm-hmm.
Here's okay. Jacob, what are these yellow barrels that are with Dorothy? Are they going to do the Jaws thing? Are they going to tag the tornado?
Yeah, you can't keep it down with two barrels.
Just going back to the beginning here. Yeah, those are Jake's Jaws barrels on the back of that trailer.
This is just Jaws barrels. Yeah,
This is Jacob trailering a bunch of barrels up to New York for the play.
that's me. I was. That's just somebody bringing their props to Dragon Con. Jaws barrels and Dorothy's.
Yeah, this is what you see on 75.
You can't tell, but the back of that truck says "honk if you love Dragon Con" or whatever.
It says at the movie car guy Instagram logo.
BC DeLorean and other movie cars
And other
too.
movie cars too. Okay, so I do agree we should see this together. Now, Jacob, your core complaint was that there's too many tornadoes in the trailer.
Doesn't that sound ridiculous? He's complaining that there's tornadoes in the movie called Twisters with an S. I don't know. I just want it to feel like Twister, and I don't think that. I think this trailer feels more like The Day After Tomorrow, and I don't think the movie Twister is anything like those kind of disaster movies. That's it. I just hope it's not generic disaster movie. Like those movies are still fun,
Right.
I just want it to actually. I hope it actually feels like a sequel to Twister.
I've seen people complaining that there's too much CG. And I do want to remind those
Were they
people,
supposed to go get real tornadoes?
the original Twister was also computer generated tornadoes. In fact, it was groundbreaking at the time. So now these
Tornadoes are groundbreaking. Yes,
do that. So we'll just kind of let it cycle through. If anything else pops out that you guys want to point out.
I mean that stuff looked very Twister to me, like dodging the like that looks like when they're driving through the house, at the end of the movie and stuff.
Hold on. God, I love it. Abby, where are you?
For as much as it might look like Twister, I feel like the thing that actually was driving the first movie Twister was the relationships between characters.
Yes.
Tethering and untethering, and that being the thing that was mimicking the tornadoes and all that. So I'm hoping that there's really good storyline for these characters, because they need obviously the one guy has charisma, which is great. But I want to see real emotional family stuff or love as it's falling apart and being rebuilt, because that's just the stuff that makes Twister.
What's this motion she's doing? It's very sexual.
Probably tornado and sign language. That's
Right.
just my guess.
It looks like she's telling him to fuck himself. She probably is. Look at that look.
Look at him.
He's in it for the likes.
Wait,
and
look at the other
subscribes, not
guy.
the science. God, it really makes me miss Bill Paxton, though.
Yeah.
Glenn Powell is great, though, and I think he's perfect for this kind of role. He's got that. He also worked with Bill Paxton. They had a good relationship, so he's definitely channeling him in some kind of way. But just kind of keep going through here. Lots of tornadoes. Lots of that. This is a Twister shot.
Yeah, the truck driving backwards.
Dodge Ram.
Yeah.
I'm getting excited. I'm more excited now at talking about it with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited about this. It doesn't feel like it's something that was going to happen. But when this dude was screaming, we got twins.
Hold on. Is this person in the back seat
In
got
VR?
a fucking Google VR? What the fuck is this shit?
Dude,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
I'm betting you can see inside the tornado with whatever technology.
Absolutely.
Oh, wait.
But,
They're piloting the drone.
Gotcha. Oh, they're ecto goggles.
Okay, that
cool.
makes sense.
I get it. That's Callie. I know what's happening.
They're piloting the drone for sure.
You gotta look through. You can really feel it with the telephoto lens. Oh, well, we don't.
I'm watching Twister tonight.
Yeah, I think we. Yeah, that's what I hear. Let's can we hear this real quick?
You got to turn the volume on. Yeah, you got it muted there. Oh, I can't hear that.
You can't hear it? Oh, sorry.
No,
it's not coming through. All right. So, bunch of softball players gonna get sucked up in a tornado, maybe. Something's gonna happen. Probably not. Well, this is a movie that's happening. Comes out in July. You think this will be successful, Abigail?
I hope it is. I mean, I hope it's wildly successful. And I hope that Helen Hunt shows up and that it's a revival for the first film. And that, I mean, that would be really fun. But I know that that's kind of optimistic, rose-colored glasses thinking. So odds of it coming out and just not really feeling like a Twister movie, I think the odds are pretty good, and I have to echo Jacob here with it feeling like a disaster movie, more so than a Twister movie. So maybe when I see some more dialogue from the characters, another trailer, I'll get a better feel. But all in all, I'm just like, let's be happy that we have a meal. We have a new thing to take in for as the Twister community.
This
The
will be a
small
good
community we are.
After all this Ghostbuster stuff. We're gonna need just a little bit of a palate cleanser. Like just
Yeah.
go in. And
When's
watch
this come out?
July.
July.
So
Cool.
we got a couple months. I do like they're really leaning into the Twister font. Like people know these letters, what they
Yeah.
mean. One thing I will say.
Soundtrack better be good. That's what I'll say.
Oh yeah, we need some good mid-America rock and roll. Look at this. They're probably giving away the whole movie. Like you have to reference Bill Paxton in this movie. You cannot, at a minimum, there at least has to
I'm
be.
sure
a
they
scene
will.
Where they go to his grave
Mhm.
to like learn from the extreme.
No, I want a whole I want a whole scene of de-aged visual effects Bill Paxton.
Yeah,
Let
let
him
James
do a
Cameron
whole
come do it.
scene. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hi, I'm Bill, the extreme. I've been dead for 10 years, but I'm back to introduce you to Twisters.
His spirit is inside every sensor in the Dorothy.
That's exactly what I was just thinking.
As they
Jacob,
go
and
up-
they come together and form him. So you and I were both thinking
you
the
see
same
his,
thing.
you can see his face
It's me,
inside
Joe.
everyone, and then they took.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like his hand is just a bunch of the sensors moving.
he looks like a goddamn celestial.
It's like the end of the stand, the hand coming in, but it's
I literally just want a de-aged CGI Bill Paxton to introduce the movie, just like the Twister ride.
like Universal Studio style.
If you're seeing today's film on a large format screen with Dolby Sony audio surround sound, you're going to really feel the power of an F5. What's it called now? An EF5 tornado. These are real, folks, and they're extreme. God, you know
Just
what?
cuts to the movie. That'd be funny.
We took Bill Paxton for granted. He's awesome.
We did.
We were you know what we watched?
Granted.
What did I say?
Predators.
We watched Predators too.
Oh, you guys watch Predators too?
Yeah,
Or Predator 2?
Predator 2.
Oh,
Yeah,
Predator 2.
Uh,
Predators.
I was just
2.
going with like the
It's called
alien
Predator.
and then aliens.
Well, Twister and Twisters.
yeah.
Well, wait, hold on. What'd you think of Predator?
Predator
Well, we had to
2.
finish it 'cause someone fell asleep.
It's awesome, guys.
Mhm.
I don't know how I never saw Predator. It has Gary Busey.
It's
but
great,
mostly-
right?
Yeah, it's over the top.
I love the
sequel kind of-
voodoo. There's a voodoo guy in it for
Yeah,
some
there's a
reason.
fucking yes. So much lore is added to like the extraterrestrial.
It takes place in futuristic Los Angeles, 1997.
Dude, that's my favorite thing to say during the movie. I'm like, this is so 97 because it's like made in 90 or 91.
So, not to derail too far, but I really like Danny Glover, and I always forget. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with the Lethal Weapon movies, all of them. And Angels in the Outfield. He was the coach. He's great, but most of all, Bill Paxton in that movie it's like he's not really a great actor, but he's Bill Paxton, so
He
it doesn't
thinks he
really.
is.
It just
That's
doesn't
why
matter.
he works in Twister. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
He's like drunk on his own bravado and
Yeah.
machismo.
He's like, you're not gonna believe it. Whole place is falling apart. I don't know, just cool Bill Paxton.
Not
shit.
naked.
Naked. Well, maybe Philip Seymour Hoffman's an incredible actor. So, yep. Rest in peace to those guys. We'll be there night one.
Mhm.
I do think though. Last thing, there's twins in the first movie. They got to go triplets for the.
Yeah, it's weird. They don't call them twins.
Jason Reitman will not
though.
ever.
Or do they
let
call
there
it
be a triplet.
sisters?
He fucked it up.
He's fucked it up.
We were gonna do triplets and quadruplets, and
Jason
Reitman fucked it up.
Hey, they have 3 twisters in this movie. Then at the end, they actually credit Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger as the twisters. Oh shit, Arnold Schwarzenegger was in this. Yeah, he played one of the tornadoes.
Yes, I could have played a lot of different
They
roles.
just They just put a sound clip of his voice in the roar of the tornado. So
Ah,
tornado comes by and it's like, "Row, row, yow."
Do not to be the last action hero. Hey, that's a good movie too. All right, we love Arnold. We love Bill Paxton. I almost said Bill Pullman, like a fucking loser, dude. People,
Ow, you just told on yourself.
No.
It happens.
but people who
don't.
confuse Paxton and Pullman. First of all, Bill Pullman's great in
The names are
Independence Day.
close. Yeah.
But what's the other great Bill Pullman movie? You'll have trouble figuring it out. Besides ID4, I'll be waiting.
Spaceballs. Is he in Spaceballs?
Yeah, he's the main guy.
Is he the main guy in Spaceballs? That movie's great.
Yeah, but besides those,
Spaceballs. Put it on my list real quick.
okay, so Twister.
He's in Casper and Spaceballs.
He is. He's like the Gruberson of Casper.
Mhm.
I hate that I just said that.
Well, let's move past it. We got some
Okay.
other trailers to talk about.
Well, let's talk about what do you want to talk about? So
I don't
Twister
care.
was big. You want to talk about Deadpool? Go ahead. We're 50 minutes in already.
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Abby, where are you on Deadpool? Just like the whole Deadpool thing. Because we don't need to. We know where we're at on the MCU right now. But where are you on Deadpool?
I was like a begrudging fan of Deadpool. I found Ryan Reynolds to be like really obnoxious before the first movie came out, and then I went to see the movie and was like irritated / had a crush on it and really liked Deadpool and laughed a lot and thought that the love story that was wrapped in there was like a super surprisingly like real and heartfelt and like emotional. And I ended up loving Deadpool as a character and really loving the soundtrack. And then I saw the second Deadpool movie and I really, really enjoyed it. Thought Cable was great and Domino and all that stuff. So when it comes to Deadpool, I would say I don't like put the bumper sticker on my car or wear the t-shirt, but I do like consider myself a fan.
How come
of on screen?
How come every time you walk in the door, you're like, let's have chimichangas for dinner? That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen in our house. Okay, Jacob, this is a good starting point. Where are you on Deadpool?
Kind of the same as Abby. I've never really cared for the character, and I do find him to be kind of annoying. But the movies are really well done. The movies are really fun and funny, and I think Deadpool 2 is the best X-Men movie in existence right now. It's literally like a secret X-Men movie that gets a lot of, like it's an ongoing thing that the X-Men movies like get so much things wrong, or they just make weird choices with characters. There's like 15 of them and none of them are like amazing. And then Deadpool comes out and it's like Deadpool 2, and then it's like, oh, every other character in this is like an X-Men. They're all there's X-Force, which is an X-Men thing, Cable, Colossus, Juggernaut. It's just like, what the fuck is this movie? That movie's great. It's really fun and funny. So I'm excited for Deadpool 3. I'm not excited to see Hugh Jackman again. Like I love Wolverine, and I think he's one of the best X-Men, and I've always thought that Hugh Jackman is great as Wolverine. But like, come on, dude. Like, Logan happened. We killed him off. That is such a good movie. We let it be. Like, why bring him back? Like, I don't know, man. I know it's gonna be fun. I know I'm gonna love the movie. I don't think the trailer's great, and I'm not sold on the Wolverine thing. Because it just reminds me of like the MCU's problems right now. Is like not being able to get past where we are and move towards an MCU version of the X-Men. It's taken so fucking long, and they keep just bringing the same people back over and over.
Right. Yeah, you're right. And to me, this is going to sound like an annoying thing to say, but I'm just going to say it. I always thought what would be fun about bringing Deadpool into the MCU would to just also kind of let it exist as its own thing. Like, it's part of the MCU, but it's just still Deadpool. And maybe that's what this will be. But I find Phase 4 of the MCU to be one of the most, like, we're gonna look back and we're gonna go, what the fuck happened? Like after Avengers Endgame. Like there's been a couple good things. I do like Spider-Man No Way Home and a few others, but like for the most part, it's been so not what it was in Phase 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And as soon as the TVA shows up, I'm just like, I don't care. That's how I feel. And by the way, this movie's gonna be, it's the most viewed trailer of all time. It's going to be huge.
Which is that's a crazy thing in and of itself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like Ryan Reynolds, and I do think it'll be fun, and I think it'll be fun to see Wolverine, and there'll be cameos and alternate versions
Sure.
of. It'll be fun, but what will it mean for the MCU? I don't think much. I think Fantastic Four is a way more important piece of the puzzle than Deadpool for the future of the MCU, personally.
I think so too, and I wonder if they're using, this doesn't give you a ton of the plot, but it feels like the TVA is recruiting Deadpool because of the fact that he already has the powers
Access
to know that he's breaking the fourth wall all the time.
Right.
So it looks like they're recruiting him to do some cleanup for the MCU, and that's kind of funny. Is like, are they hiring Deadpool to be like, hey, all the shit that the MCU's gotten wrong, go get rid of it. Destroy
That's
it.
likely. Yeah, I believe that.
And that I'm into that. That sounds fun. It's just weird to me that we're like still pulling in these actors to play these roles that they've been playing for over 20 years when we need to be getting
Give us
past
something
that.
new and fresh. Yeah, it would like innovative and memorable.
Yeah.
It's felt like so much lackluster product has been coming out. I kind of agree. I mean, it would be
Also-
really funny if Jacob, if
No, go
the
ahead.
plot was like you were saying, that Deadpool is there to clean up
Yeah.
and be an editor for the MCU and
Yeah.
realign the timelines. I think that would be hilarious.
And that might be it. But hey, also, like, we know Wolverine's in this movie. Like, there's been photos of Hugh Jackman on set for the last 6 months. Just put him in the fucking trailer. Why are you teasing it? Like,
It's also called
know
Deadpool
that-
and Wolverine.
like every single person has seen him in his suit. Like it's not a surprise. There's hundreds of set photos from this movie online.
But
Just
if
put
you
him in
heard the
fucking
argument
trailer.
against it, people are like, not everybody's on Twitter. Every fucking person I know
I mean,
who cares
I'm
about
not.
Deadpool
I'm not either.
knows that Wolverine, Hugh Jackman's wearing the blue and yellow suit, and it's the name of the movie.
Yeah.
Patch,
Yeah, Patches in it. Cool.
Wolverine, Ryan Dole. So many people thought, like, I do like that Ryan Dole has worked himself into a shoot so hard that people associate Wolverine
Right.
wearing this goddamn suit
Wearing a
with
suit.
Ryan Dole.
Yeah.
Right?
There's rumors about who's going to play that version of him. I don't know if we don't need to get into spoiler territory right now, but it's out there.
I don't think those are. Yeah, but I don't know if those rumors are based on any sort of
Should we say it?
fact or truth.
For my
People-
sake, you could, because I don't know what you're
It's
talking
Daniel Radcliffe, but there's zero. I think people just do that because Daniel Radcliffe like kind of looks like Wolverine. Like I don't know if there's ever been a substantial,
Right.
like, people have been saying that since they started talking about the movie, but I don't know.
Gotcha.
I don't know where that rumor comes from. I don't know if that's just somebody said it and then everybody likes the idea, so they're like, "There's rumors," or if it's a real rumor that leaked from something.
I like the idea that it's Daniel Radcliffe as Weird Al as Patch.
That would be better.
That would be
Popping up
better.
in important places.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
And another one gone. And another one gone. Okay, sorry. Okay.
I like that. I like the idea of Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine. He's small and wiry and muscle bound and kind of plays a chip on his shoulder character as Harry Potter. So yeah, I could see that.
Here's what I don't want. I don't want 12 Wolverines and 8 Cyclopses and everything else. Like, if you're going to introduce a new Wolverine beyond Hugh Jackman in this movie, I want it to be the one that's going to be in the MCU, because
Yeah.
I kind of think the John Krasinski Fantastic Four reveal in what's that movie called? Multiverse of Madness. It kind of sucks now. It's like, who
Well,
cares?
It sucks now, and it also, the MCU, they're like, they go against their own rules. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's really weird to me. Like, they do this thing where since they've started doing multiverse stuff, some characters, when you see other versions of them, are all the same actor. In Multiverse of Madness, all Doctor Stranges are Benedict Cumberbatch. Everyone, it's the same guy. But then when you get to Mr. Fantastic, every Kang is the same Kang. You know what I mean? There's thousands of them.
Not for long.
Not anymore, but sure.
Mhm.
But they're all Jonathan Majors. So then to get to like Mr. Fantastic and introduce him as John Krasinski and then be like, oh, but he's not going to be playing. And it's like, what do you mean?
Right.
We've established that all versions of a character are this. They look the same, but now they don't. Why is it for some characters you do that and some you don't do that? It makes zero sense.
Yeah, that's very well put. That's what I was basically saying, but
Thank
you articulated it in a very meaningful way. But I was just like, I didn't like when John Krasinski was Mr. Fantastic. Abby, where are you on Hugh Jackman? Are you excited to see him back? Do you care?
Yeah, I like him, but I have the same fatigue that I do with like every MCU character that I've seen come back and come back and come back, and I'd like to say something new and maybe a fresh casting. And I do love Hugh Jackman. I think he's fantastic, like as a human being, as a singer, actor, and everything. But maybe it's time to move on and do something different.
Hey, you know what's similar between YHS and Hugh Jackman? This is the greatest show. Do a commercial break right now. So anyways, okay, so Deadpool's coming. Most viewed trailer of all time. It's going to be a massive, 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 earth-shattering hit.
Sure.
And then, well, the MCU is going to be the exact same place it is right now. Because it's not gonna,
and then they're gonna put all their, they're gonna put all their faith behind the Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
and nobody's gonna care about Fantastic Four, just like nobody's cared about the last entire phase of Marvel.
That I disagree with.
Well,
that
okay, you're wrong.
I'm not wrong. I like the. Should we talk about this casting? Should we do it?
Sure.
All right, I just got to get the thing up here. All right. So, Fantastic Four cast is official. We've got Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Eben Moss, Bachrach, and Joseph Quinn, Abigail. Walk me through this. How are you? Listen, I'm no Fantastic Four expert, but I do like this cast. I will say that.
I can say about the same. I like the cast. I like who they've chosen. I don't, however, have a background on Fantastic Four. It was never my thing, and these were not my characters. But I know that I really like the bear, and I like that guy who's playing the
Eben Moss Bachrach.
Yeah, it's great. I love Pedro Pascal, so that's enough reason for me to be excited. And it's cute that this is in like a fun retro card detail, and you have to pay attention to the details to figure out the casting. I think that's fun.
Yeah, they're going to originate in the 1960s, so I definitely think they're going to do a WandaVision style kind of throwback, and maybe it'll be great. Jacob, what do you think?
I don't know who two of these people are. I'm indifferent on the guy playing Johnny Storm, the guy from
Stranger Things.
That's whatever to me. I think Pedro Pascal's great, but I am getting a little fatigued of him. And he also, I try not to do this because actors are actors for a reason, so they can portray the thing or person they're trying to be. But nothing about him screams Mr. Fantastic to me, so I'm a little apprehensive on that, but I think he's fine. The cast overall, there's nothing here that I'm like particularly excited about, but there's nothing that I'm annoyed about either. So it's like, whatever. I'm just like, I just have not, to me, it's not a problem with Fantastic Four. It's just like, can we just find, I'm just annoyed with the MCU in general. You know what I mean? The MCU is it's in such a bad place that I at this point, I just don't care. I just don't care about anything they're doing. And I'm not going to until something comes out and the tables turn on the content they're putting out. So it's like, it doesn't matter who's in the movie. You got to show me that it's going to be good.
Matt Shankman hasn't really done a lot of movies, but he did do 9 episodes of WandaVision. That's kind of where he made his big impact in Marvel. From what we're hearing on, like, the next Captain America is going through like a whole nother round. It sounds like a shit show over there.
I read that they've at this point done more reshoots than their original days of just filming the movie.
Right. And then Thunderbolts. Just the MCU's in a weird spot. It has been for a while. This is nothing new.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to let the old ways die.
Maybe
Start
it is.
something new.
I wouldn't mind.
Do things differently. Times change. We've progressed. We've all evolved. The heyday's over. I say, like, be innovative.
They should
Something new.
what would be cool and what they should do is like kind of put a button on the MCU and then start it over, but let Fantastic Four, like, make this movie with this cast, but let it be a period piece.
Yeah.
Make X-Men, let it be a period piece.
Mm-hmm.
Make a run, make an MCU portion of 10 movies that ends with an Avengers movie, but that takes place from the 60s to the 80s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That way you don't really have to worry about all of, like, you don't have to worry about making things make sense with all the new cast. You don't have to be like, well, where were the Fantastic Four when Thanos was here? You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about all that.
Right.
Just do a whole phase of movies that take place in this era. They don't have to. Everybody doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be. It can be like. Can you imagine if they did a movie that takes place in the 80s, and it's the Avengers from back then, and have the X-Men in it and the Fantastic Four in it, and just that would be so much. That would be cool.
Well, eventually they're going to have to, right? Because this is what happens in comic books. Like, eventually, you've told so many stories and you've exhausted every option for every character that you kind of have to start fresh.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And then if they did that 10 or 15 years from now, then you could do another multiversal crossover where you do bring back people from the original MCU. And it'll mean something. Because what's going to happen is in the next 3 years, they're going to bring back Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Evans in Secret Wars or whatever. And it'll be cool, but what will it mean? Those are two different things.
Yeah.
Oh, I like seeing Chris Evans back on screen, but what does it mean? Well, it means that we already closed the book on his character and it was really special and awesome. And now we've undone that. Yeah. For what? I don't know.
Yeah, just some bigger bad that we need to bring them back for. I would much rather the storyline, like it. I'd rather us actually build to where you're, as the audience and fan, thinking like, oh man, we would really need the power of Iron Man or Captain America to come in for this because I'm really invested in the story and it would make sense. Instead of just like bringing out showing the signal just to try to get money or something like that to have a successful movie.
And Josh Brolin said recently he thinks they're going to bring back Thanos in some kind of way. It's just like, why?
Yeah,
it's over.
Yeah,
we've had a whole pandemic since Thanos. Mm-hmm. It's done.
It's done.
Although I do think he's great in that role, and if he does it, I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah. So, okay, well, we'll wrap up the Marvel discussion with something that I think is. I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed this trailer today. The first look at X-Men '97.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't really talked about this much Marvel shit in a very long time. Is Marvel going to be back?
It thinks it is.
Everything's cyclical. Every 20 years. In general, people are nostalgic for what happened 20 years prior.
So here we got our first look at X-Men '97. Opens up with this retro TV and VCR. You got a Toy Biz X-Men action figure there on the side. Listen, I don't know, Jake. Is this the finale of the original X-Men?
This is from. They're showing us what happened at the end of the original show. They show you that Professor Xavier passes away. And they got to show you that because, it's been, 25 years. And some people probably don't know that or remember it. And will be like, where's Xavier? Why is Magneto running the show here?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Abby, what were your thoughts on this today?
Although I only recently dipped my toe into the X-Men universe, like in the last couple of years, once Disney Plus added the animated series, to their repertoire, and I've really enjoyed kind of going back into X-Men, and like it's filled in a place because as a kid I saw the commercials for X-Men and I remember being like, oh, those are some of those girls are hot. I want to watch that show. So now as an adult to be able to go back into it and to discover Rogue and Storm and just the storylines of X-Men being like smaller, like marginalized people who have been kind of like excluded from society for being different. And that's all like really relatable stuff and very cool like metaphors. So I think the show's really deep. The cartoon's actually deep, and it's got great animation and great music. So seeing some of the nostalgic stuff here, like seeing Professor Xavier and like just the gang all together in their placements made me feel like almost as if I had a nostalgic tie to childhood. But
it did that to
I'm
me.
psyched. Yeah.
And I never really watched X-Men as a kid, but it made me feel nostalgic. And also seeing Gambit ride on the back of Wolverine is just that's fun.
Honestly, that is fucking cool.
Jacob, you're a much bigger fan of this series than either of us are. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching the show, and I'm excited for this. This is, when I was young, I was big into this show and collecting the Marvel cards.
Yeah,
and like this and those cards are where a lot of my my MCU or my Marvel knowledge came from, and I loved this show. So I've been excited. This is coming back, and they're trying to make it as close to the original as they can. Ryan posted earlier that a picture from a comic book where they're all in their like workout costumes, and it's like the exact same. So they're like pulling from comics. And look, Jean Grey is pregnant here. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, it's awesome to like see how the X-Men get along without Charles Xavier, and looks like we're gonna have to do some working with Magneto, which has happened multiple times, in the comics. So I don't know, man. I'm excited. We got like a lot of the same voice actors are coming back, and you can tell the animation's not exactly the same, and that is because it's not, it's not actually hand drawn and animated, but they just don't do it like that anymore. But they're trying to make it look as close as they can to the original style. It looks great. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. Rogue's hair's big. Love that.
There's Sentinels in there.
Sentinels are back.
That's awesome. Yeah, good stuff today. I'm really excited. I hope they put it all out at once. I don't want to watch this once a week. Just let me binge X-Men.
Yeah, honestly, with animated stuff, I feel like that's better. Instead of like pacing it out.
Yeah, this is really cool. You know what? I'm glad it's happening because they had also announced like an animated Spider-Man show that ended up getting canceled.
Yeah.
I feel like this has been in the works for a long time. So pretty cool. Listen, if you're an X-Men fan, it'll be a fun year for you between this and Deadpool, and I'm sure there's things happening in the comic books as well. But if Ryan was here, he'd be yelling at me. I can hear him.
I'm sure things are happening in comic books.
He's like, "Oh yeah, you think so, Craig? You think there's things happening in the comic book?" So yeah, lots of good stuff to unpack here. Lots of new content coming our way. Jacob, any final thoughts on X-Men there?
No, I'm just excited for it, and I hope the show does well. I mean, like anything that goes straight to Disney Plus, I don't know how, especially like something animated. I don't know what its chances are of it like continuing or even staying on Disney Plus past 6 months. Who knows? But I hope it does well, and I hope it. I hope, even though I have my doubts for Fantastic Four, I hope it does well, and I hope we see the MCU take a step in the right direction and give us some X-Men.
Yeah, I hope a new generation can pick it up and be like, yeah, this is my show.
By the way, I didn't mention this earlier, but we have to mention this. So, they rearranged the Fantastic Four release date, and it's now going to come out. I think 2 weeks before. Is it 2 weeks before or 2 weeks after? It's right around the same time as Superman Legacy. And the rumor is that Kevin Feige and James Gunn actually fucking hate each other. And Kevin Feige's doing this on purpose to go up against
I'm sure.
And maybe they don't hate each other, but there's some sort of rivalry. And listen, I love James Gunn, and most of what he's done I've really liked. I love all the Guardians movies. Peacemaker was really, really good, way better than I ever expected. I think the Superman movie is going to be. I think it might be great, but I don't think if you're going up against Fantastic Four MCU, this is gonna be crazy.
Yeah, but also I don't understand people who are like, "Oh, they're going up against each other." People who want to see them just go see both. Why?
Right.
Why is it crazy to think
Why do they
like
have to verse each other?
they come out 2 weeks away from each other? One's gonna steal. No, the people who want to go are just gonna go see both. Like, why is that a thing? I want them to come out at the same time, not because I don't like one or the other.
Yeah.
I want to have fun and be like, whoa, I get to see DC and Marvel possibly both be good at the same time. Be happy
Right.
for it. Don't like.
I like
It's
this
like you
positive
want to see
outlook.
Godzilla and King Kong both win. Not you make that argument. I've heard
fucking
you make that
Kong, dude.
argument.
I'm just kidding.
Dude,
Yeah,
you
no,
know what I'm
good.
saying though. Like, there's no reason for them to be like
Sure.
opposite. each
Yeah,
other.
they're
I guess we
buddies,
didn't. There's a new Kong and Godzilla trailer as well. Everybody go watch it.
which is great. So it's actually a pretty good. It's really silly looking.
Before we sign off here, I don't think we've said anything about Ghostbusters, but obviously Frozen Empire, we are just over a month away. We are 5 weeks away from the release of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Pretty surreal. News kind of started coming out today about the world premiere. Looks like it's going to be mid-March. Our intentions are to be there front and center, rubbing elbows,
Mhm.
probably rubbing our feet. We'll be standing all day.
Okay.
Jacob, are you excited?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm
Are
ready
you
to.
nervous? You stressed?
I'm always a little stressed, but not as much as I probably was for the last premiere. I'm just excited to be in New York for a week and see friends. Hang out with Bill Murray again, and just have a good time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And eat good food and like just hang out with AJ and Jay Key's gonna be there. It's just gonna be a fun trip,
Abby, how do you
and
think
we'll
Gil,
get to see Ghostbusters.
Mhm.
how do you think Gil Cannon is feeling right now? You think he's feeling the pressure?
Yeah, but he's a little nervous, a little nauseous. Who knows? I mean, it is a lot of pressure. I can't imagine what he's feeling, but I just my heart goes out to him, and I can't wait to see it. And I've got full faith in the movie. And I also, much like you, Jacob, I can't wait to go to New York just because I love New York. And I am so grateful that the premiere is happening there rather than any other state in the country or place in the world, because that's Ghostbusters' origin, and this movie is obviously going to take us back there. So
I'm
Yeah.
going to that
I'm pumped.
firehouse.
Yeah, we're gonna
That's
do
Ghostbusters, baby.
all the stereotypical things that we do when we go to New York
See
and
those
we'll see the
lions.
movie.
See
Yeah.
that firehouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna
Let's
see
do
our
it.
friends. Could probably avoid some people. It's gonna be awesome.
Mhm.
Listen,
That's
this
what
is-
I'm looking forward to.
Listen.
Snubbing some folks.
I'm not. No one's getting snubbed, but the fact is, I've been saying this to people all the time. No matter what, it's a big community. There's a lot of personalities.
YHS cold shoulder since 2016.
Only 60 people getting into that party.
Oh, we got the party. Should we talk about that? Let's
Yeah.
talk about it. We're throwing a party the night before the premiere.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to be very exclusive and
Yeah.
very a very small list of people that will be coming, and not because, in all seriousness, it's because
Well, it's because we can only afford a
Yeah,
small
we're-
amount of people. It's
Yeah.
not.
we can't rent out a giant space. We're gonna put
Right.
on a party, and
It's
if
not
60
2020
people-
anymore, folks. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
lots of people who want to rent spaces out.
yeah,
There's lots of people.
yeah, this isn't COVID. People are like, "You come here for free. Please eat our food.
Please.
Play our games."
Mhm.
We are going to have a party. We will have details soon, but I will say this. This is not something we are going to be advertising very much publicly beforehand. If you want the inside track on where to get tickets to the party and make sure that you're part of it, you have to be on the YHS social channels that are not public facing. So that would either be the YHS group therapy, which is our Facebook group, or the YHS Discord, which is exclusive to Patreon. I will say this: Patreon members will be getting first stabs at tickets. I don't anticipate selling out to just Patreon, but it could happen.
Possible.
It's possible.
Mhm.
And being part of the Patreon is how we just want to make sure that they feel that the value and the benefits. So first dibs will go to Patreon, and then we will open it up to the public. But We're not going to be, it's one of those things. It's not a speakeasy. It's not a hidden thing, but it's
an exclusive drop, essentially.
It is.
We're going to drop the opportunity out, and yeah.
So if you want to get in on it, at a minimum, make sure you're part of YHS Group Therapy on Facebook, where you can get all the details. And that'll be happening. I mean, listen, the premiere's in 4 weeks. So at some point, hopefully in the next week and a half,
oh my God, yeah,
we'll roll it all out. Lots to do between now and then. I got to get a haircut. I got to buy some new clothes. Got to get some red carpet clothing.
Oh, I was like, before you do the drop? I was like,
no,
you're like,
before we go to New York.
Okay, sure. Same, yeah.
Buy some new clothes.
He's got to get red carpet, yeah.
So you got to get your haircut before you sell a ticket?
Before I sell those tickets. Well, I want people to take me seriously, like a businessman. But it's going to be great. And like, sometimes I need to take a step back and go, more than anything, we get to watch a new Ghostbusters movie. And that is crazy. Because it wasn't always guaranteed. I don't want to forget that. So, anyways, if you did want to get in on the Patreon, stick around after the show. You're going to hear all about it. Abigail, any final thoughts?
Glad we did this. Glad that we have this time to talk and that we have this platform and that the platform has brought us to the premiere of a new Ghostbusters movie. It's an exciting time to be alive and to be a fan.
And Abby, Firehouse Fridays are coming.
Firehouse Fridays. Yeah, that's the best alliteration. And the best 15 or 20 minutes, or what is it, a 5-minute segment now? They're going to be exclusive and awesome stuff from behind the scenes. And I can't wait for people to see them.
Yeah. We're trying to figure it all out, but it's coming soon. Again, the movie comes out in 5 weeks. So at some point, you're going to see our lovely faces dancing all over YouTube saying, hey, look at this. Whoa, they got one of these. Jacob, are you excited about that?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to see it. I hope. I just hope they do well. I hope we can show them soon because I want other people to see it. I've looked at them over and over, and I'm ready to get that out there.
Yeah, it's been almost a year, so crazy. Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us for this episode of Yes Have Some Podcast. As always, follow us on all of our social media channels at YHS Podcast. Hey. Our Facebook page has been doing great lately. Facebook.com/YesHaveSomeCast. Lots of engagement. People like it. So go there and hang out if you want. Come to the Instagram. Come to the Discord, though. It's a lot of fun. And we will see you next week. For Abigail Gardner, Jacob Walsh, my name is Craig Goldberg, saying, as I said earlier, if you feel it, chase it. Bye.
Twins. Triplets.
Yes, have some.
Yes, have some.